Hi, my name is Mitch. I'm one of the filmmakers at Moment, and today we're gonna set up your BaseCage. We're gonna go over everything that you need to know about this thing, and it's broken up into sections that you can access down below. BaseCage is our fast and light mobile cage to build your own rig. It packs all the features of SuperCage, but without the internal hub. Compact, rugged, and lightweight, this is a cage you can count on. Right out of the box, you get the cage itself and the industrial phone clamp, which expands up to 90 millimeters to fit phones as big as the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Today, we're gonna be working off the iPhone 16 Pro. BaseCage is designed to be an open rail mounting system, which means it can work with lots of existing NATO and threaded accessories on the market to rig it your way. Moment offers a set that are compatible, which I'll walk you through today. So let's say you're using an Android or a phone where the configuration of the buttons is different than we have on our 16 Pro. So you can loosen the base plate, which allows the clamp to be mounted in a variety of different positions. For us, we're gonna stick to its center position. One of the best parts about the BaseCage is its open rail mounting system. So the top and the sides are NATO compatible, which allows for accessories like our Moment external grips to be mounted onto the side. But since NATO is so universal, there's a ton of accessories that you can mount onto the BaseCage. So right now we're gonna rig up 2 of these handles. You have 4 mounting options. There are 4 cold shoes on the BaseCage on the sides and the top. It's pretty simple. We're gonna take our handle, thread it in through the cold chute and slide it up to where we want to lock it down. We're going to do the same on the other side. Slide it through, lock it down. And right off the bat, we have one of the most stable and easiest ways to rig up the BaseCage. Another cool feature of this setup is one of these handles has a Bluetooth shutter button attached to it that you can link to your phone, and you can start and stop your clip from right here. Moving on. So, on the bottom of the BaseCage, you have an ARCA Swiss mounting base. For example, we have a Peak Design travel tripod here with an ARCA Swiss attachment. It's super easy to connect your BaseCage directly to the tripod, and it's not going anywhere. And if you don't have any accessories that use these 2 mounting systems, the BaseCage comes with 1/4 inch and 3/8 mounting points all around it. So you can essentially add any sort of filmmaking gear to this thing. Okay, so you might be wondering, what are the differences between the SuperCage and the BaseCage? All right, on the back of both of these is really where you get to see the difference. So on the BaseCage, pretty simple, straight metal all the way around. But on the SuperCage, what really makes it stand apart is the hub on the bottom. So when you're attaching accessories to the BaseCage, you can only either run memory, power, or a microphone at one time, unless you add an external hub. But on the SuperCage, it has a hub built in where every single port is labeled, and you have an additional HDMI and one more sneaky hidden port on this side. And on the SuperCage, you can record straight to an SD card. Unfortunately, the BaseCage does not have those capabilities, but if you want a slimmed down rig that is pared down on accessories, this is the way to go. Now I'm gonna walk you through adding some of those accessories to the BaseCage. What's probably one of the most useful accessories you could add to your BaseCage? Well, that would be external memory. Here we have a T7 Samsung SSD, and we're gonna show you how to add that to the BaseCage. Here we have a Tilt-A-Mount attached to the top of the BaseCage, which allows us to attach our external memory. So we're just gonna place our SSD in there, run one of our Moment Superflex cables from the phone all the way into the memory. You should get a pop-up on your iPhone telling you that an accessory has been added. And in a third-party app, like the Moment Pro Camera app or the Blackmagic app, you can configure where your files are stored. You would want to add memory like this because our phones can only hold so much footage. When you're shooting in a file type that takes up a lot of storage, like 4K ProRes footage, you're going to want to have something that can handle all of that memory. So here we have an external SSD attached to the phone. And in the Moment Pro Camera app, we have it configured so recording off of the phone goes directly into the SSD. Let's say you plan on shooting for long hours and your phone is at 10%. What are you gonna do? Well, we got a solution for that. Here we have an external battery pack, and the mount for the battery is attached to the bottom of the BaseCage with our 1/4 inch thread. These SmallRig batteries are V-mount, so they're super easy to swap out in a pinch. We're gonna take the battery and slide it right into the plate, flip the cage over, take one end of our USB-C cable, plug it directly into our phone, and then take the other end of the USB-C cable and plug it into our battery. You can see the phone is charging how it normally would if it was plugged into a wall, and you're pretty much good to go. Another benefit of this setup is it adds a lot of weight to the bottom of the cage, which could be very helpful if you build it out with handles and a lens and you want the rig to be more stable. You can still use a smaller external battery like this one here, and it'll essentially do the same thing, and it'll be a little bit less bulky. Another pretty cool accessory option is using an external microphone. Here we have a Moment shotgun mic that we can add to one of the cold shoes on top of the cage. We're gonna take the included USB-C cable, plug one end into the microphone, run the cable through one of these cable management slots on the side of the cage. So we slid the phone a little bit over so that we could access the USB-C port, plug that in right there, slide it back. On the phone you can see we have an accessory connected. When you open the Moment Pro Camera app, you'll see that it automatically defaults to the USB-C microphone. It's basically plug and play, and it's a great way to get better audio quality with your video. So even though the BaseCage is a stripped down version of the SuperCage, it doesn't mean that it's not lacking in potential. Now I'm gonna walk you through what's possible when building a rig for the BaseCage. All right, so here's an example of something that you could put together with the BaseCage. Here we have an external light, handles, the battery on the bottom, and we're using the QuickLock VMD. Honestly, a setup like this should get the job done in most situations. The weight is really nice and should stabilize your footage. What I love about this setup too, especially using the iPhone 16 and a Moment case, is it's super easy to swap out the QuickLock for a lens if you want to change the look of your footage. So as you can tell, we only have one USB-C accessory plugged into the phone right now. The one benefit of using a SuperCage is you wouldn't be limited to just one USB-C accessory. You'd be able to attach things like external memory, a microphone, a monitor, and a battery all at the same time to build out an even more advanced rig. But as you can see, the BaseCage is still very capable at building out a rig that should work well for your footage. And if you decide later that you do need additional accessories, you can attach this to a USB-C hub and run multiple ports at the same time. Overall, BaseCage is a great entry-level way to rig up your phone for more cinematic video. They're available right now on shopmoment.com, and if there's anything more that you want us to cover, you have any questions, you want to see us build a different rig, leave a comment down below. If you like this video, throw it a like. If you want to see us do more tutorials, please subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of stuff coming up soon. Once again, I'm Mitch, and I'll see you guys next time.